Hello everyone, welcome to the Python programming course, the video. You will get sequentially in this playlist. So subscribe to our channel and keep your eyes on the channel. Okay, so in week one, I will discuss what is programming, what is Python programming, why Python, why not any other programming languages, what is algorithm, and what is pseudocode. So let's start. So what is programming? All of us know that we need to give instructions to the computer if we want the computer to do a particular task, right? So a computer cannot think like humans, like us. It will never think like us. It only understands instructions. Which instructions? The instructions we give to the computer. So if we don't give the instructions sequentially, properly to the computer, will it be able to do our work? No, not obviously, right? So programming is the process of giving step-by-step instructions to a computer so it can perform tasks. Now we will see what is Python programming. Python is a popular programming language. Like us, we have lots of languages, right? Bangla, English, French, German, Korean, Spanish, and all. So computer also has its own language. Okay. So those are programming languages. There are lots of programming languages. Among them, Python is very famous, very popular. I will explain why Python is very famous. So it was created by Guido van Rossum and released in 1991. So long, long, long ago, right? It is used for Python is used for web development, like for making web pages, websites, all those software development, the app you use, mathematics, system scripting, all this. So there are so many other languages. So why Python? Why would we use Python? I will explain it later. Now let's see what can Python actually do. Python can be used on a server to create web applications. Like I told you earlier, you can use Python and you can make websites and web pages. Okay, so for that thing, you all know that we learn how to make web pages by using HTML. But nowadays, HTML is not that much popular, not that much smart. So that's why we will use Python. Python can be used alongside software to create workflows. Python can connect to database system. It can also read and modify files. So what is a database system actually? A database system is like when an institution will develop any app or any kind of software for keeping the record of the students, like your school. You people are from different schools, and maybe your schools use different online platforms to actually give you notice and your classwork and then your homework. And in that platform, in that app or software, you need to log in by your name, by your ID, by your password, right? So when you will log in or sign up by your name, by your ID and password, all the data of yours will be actually collected and kept in the system. That is called database system. I think all these things are very clear to you now. Python can be used to handle big data and perform complex mathematics. Throughout the course, you will get the knowledge of big data and complex mathematics when we will practice the programming problems. Okay, Python can be used for rapid prototyping or for production-ready software development. Okay, so why Python? Why not any other programming languages? We know that there are lots of programming languages, right? So let me show you some examples. Those are C, Java, C++, and we also have C Sharp, Laravel, mm, also R, Ruby, JavaScript, and so on. Lots of programming languages are there, and among them, Python is the most popular programming language. Okay, so why Python? Now we will see. Python works on different platforms: Windows, Mac, Linux, Raspberry Pi, etc. So there are some programming languages which actually don't work in all platforms. Okay, some programming languages work in Windows, some may not work in Windows. Some works in Mac, some may not work in Mac. But Python is that kind of programming language which actually works in every platform. That's why Python. Okay. Python has a simple syntax similar to English language. So in English, how we write the sentences, that is very easy, easier than Bangla, easier than any other languages. It's my personal opinion. Okay. So it's like English language. It's not that much harder. When you will write the syntax, you will see. In other programming languages, the syntax are more harder. Python has syntax that allows developers to write programs with fewer lines than some other programming languages. Okay, so when you will do the course, you will see the videos, lecture videos, you will be able to understand the difference between Python and other programming languages. What happens in other programming languages when you want to print something or show any output? In other programming languages, you may need to show, you may need to write 4 or 5 lines of codes, right? But in Python, you can write only one line and print the output, show the output. So that's why Python. Now, Python runs on an interpreter system, meaning that code can be executed as soon as it is written. This means that prototyping can be very quick. What does that thing mean? AG4 point. What does that mean? This means that whenever you will write down the code, you will see the output at the same window, in the same thing, in the same screen. Okay. But in any another programming languages, if we write down the code, we have to run the code, another window will open, then we can see the output. So that's why Python, we will do Python. Why not? Because it's easier. In one window, in one single screen, we can write the input and we will get the output. That's why Python. Now, Python can be treated in a procedural way, an object-oriented way, or a functional way. So, I will explain this point later throughout the course. Now, good to know the most recent major version of Python is Python 3. So, earlier versions were there, but those versions were not that much, updated. Not most of the libraries and features are not there. So, that's why all of you will use Python 3 because this is the updated version which we shall be using in this class. In this class, Python will be written in a text editor. It is possible to write Python in an integrated development environment, such as Thorny, PyCharm, NetBeans, and so on. But first of all, Shurute, in the beginning, we will write down the code in Python IDE. After that, we will jump into VS Code. Then I will show you how to write down the Python code in Google Colab. Okay, now see Python syntax compared to other programming languages. Python was designed for readability, like which is readable, easy to read, and has some similarities to English language with influence from mathematics. Okay, so that's why we will use Python. Python uses new lines to complete a command as opposed to other programming languages, which often use semicolons or parentheses. Now, what is semicolon? I think all of you know. Semicolon is this thing. Oh, sorry. Semicolon is this thing, actually. And parenthesis, the first bracket that all of you know, this is called parenthesis. Okay. So in any other programming languages, like in C, suppose in C programming, if you forget to give this semicolon or forget to give the bracket, one of the brackets, then the code will show the error. But in Python, if you miss any like any semicolon or comma or anything, The code will not show any error, by the way. Okay, so this is why we will use Python. Python relies on indentation, okay, using white space. So what is indentation? Indentation is nothing but using white space to define scope, such as the scope of loops, functions, and classes. So I will explain throughout the course, I will explain what is loop, what is function, what is class. I will explain all this later. Have some patience. Okay, other programming languages often use curly brackets for parentheses for this purpose. So curly brackets, that is this thing. Okay, this is called curly bracket, and this thing is called square bracket. So parenthesis is this one, curly brackets or braces, whatever you say, is this one, and square brackets is this one. Okay, I think it's clear to you now. So let's proceed to our class. Now, now think that you will cook today fried rice. Okay, so if you want to do any particular work and you make some smaller steps of the work will be very easier to you to do, to be done, right? So this is how you will do the algorithm. So wash the rice, boil rice, cut vegetables. Oh my God, sorry. I accidentally opened Copilot. Wash rice, boil rice, cut vegetables, fry, mix, and serve. So now you will see the concept of algorithm. What is an algorithm? An algorithm is a step-by-step method or plan to solve a problem. Okay, it is algorithm. Now let's see an example. Algorithm to make tea. So if you want to make tea, or if you want to pack your bag, if you want to bake a cake, if you make smaller steps, the work will be very easier to you to be done. So first, boil water, add tea leaves, then add milk and sugar, pour into cup, serve hot. That's it. The work will be very easier to do. Now, what is pseudocode? You may have heard about code, but not pseudocode. So, what is pseudocode? Let's learn. Pseudocode is writing the algorithm in simple English, not the actual code. So, actual code is like the actual code we will write in the compiler, okay, the coding, the programming language, the language which the computer understands. But pseudocode is not the language that computer understands. Pseudocode is like the middleman of us and the computer. It's not totally written in English. Like it's written in English, but it's not a whole code, but it's not a whole English sentence. Okay? It's middle of that. Now let's see the example. Like we have written the algorithm like this. Step number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like this, right? But in pseudocode, what we will do, we will start with the start step, okay? And at the end, we must write end. Okay, so boil water, add tea leaves, add milk and sugar, pour into cup, end. This is how you will do pseudocode. I hope you all understood. Now, let's see the example. Find the sum of two numbers. So what will be the algorithm for this? What will be the algorithm for finding the sum of two numbers? I have literally written the algorithm here. So let's write another algorithm. Find the subtraction of two numbers. So for this thing, what we will do, first of all, we will write algorithm, then we will write down step by step. So step one, we will write down start. Okay. Step number two, what will be the step number two? We must take two numbers because we have to do the subtraction. Okay. So input, we will write input to numbers. Those are, let's take P and Q. We can change the variable names. I think you have idea about variables. Now, let, let's take another variable, S equals P minus Q. Okay, let's make another step, step number 4. Now we want the output. So in computer science, when you will do, write down the code, write down the algorithm and pseudocode. Printing doesn't mean that you have to print that thing on the paper. Printing doesn't mean that. Here in coding, printing means you will show the output. Not you actually, the computer will show the output. Okay, I think it's clear to you now. Print S because we have to find out the subtraction result and we are keeping the value of subtraction in S, so we will print S. Then step number 5, it will be end. See, very easy, isn't it? It's very easy. Now let's do the same thing for pseudocode. In pseudocode, we will not make any steps. Okay, we will not write down step 1, 2, 3, 4, not like that. Okay, we will start with the start option. Start. Then what would we do? We will input two numbers. Input, just write down input P and Q. No need to make it so much lengthy. In pseudocode, we will not make it lengthy. Okay. In algorithm, it could be lengthy, but pseudocode will not be lengthy. Now, S subtraction. So S equals P minus Q. That's it. Then we will print the subtraction, right? So print S subtraction S and N. Now, look at the difference between algorithm and pseudocode. In algorithm, I have written this in small letter, but in pseudocode, I have written these things in capital letter, in block letter. Okay, so this is the actually minor difference between algorithm and pseudocode. I think it's clear to you now. That's it. And you can also take the variables in small letter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Variables could be taken in small letter. Also, you can take the variable name as sub or like this. Okay, like this you can do. It's up to you how you will do. Okay, now let's jump to our lesson again. Now, in day 1, I have discussed about what is programming, what is algorithm and pseudocode, and real life tasks. Okay, so this two will be your assignment of day 1. Write algorithm and pseudocode for the following. Find the average of 5 numbers. Find the larger between two numbers. So how do you, whenever you will write down algorithm, keep it in your mind that first of all, you need to break down the question. So in the question, what is given? Find the average of, find the average of 5 numbers, right? This thing. So let me explain it. Let me explain the basic. So how do you find out the average of 5 numbers? First of all, you have to take 5 numbers, right? Suppose I'm taking input 5 numbers A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Now, how you will find out the average? The formula of finding average is adding up all the numbers and dividing those. This is the division sign. Okay, everyone. This is the division sign because that the division sign we use in math that is not available in the keyboard. That's why we will use it. So we will add up all the numbers and divide it by the number of numbers. How many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it will be divided by 5. That's it. That's how you will find out the result. Okay. So now, if I tell you write down the algorithm for this, how will you write it? You will write it step by step. Step 1, step 2, step 3, like all those. Okay. First, you will input like this First, you will input start. You will start with the start option, then input two numbers. Here we have taken input of two numbers, but here we will take input of five numbers. Input five numbers A, B, C, D, E, or any alphabet you can take. Then average equals. Then let average equals A plus B plus C plus D plus E divided by 5. Then print. Then step number 3 will be print average. So this is how you will do it, and this is the same way you will do the pseudocode. I will not obviously reveal the answer of the assignment. It will be your task. You will do it by yourself. Okay. Okay. So that's it for day one. Um, let's meet in another video in day two. So bye bye everyone.